which I then never managed to lose. So yes, it's a live cast from the games are from replays until we go into our second series tonight, as we get ready to introduce our players for the second game of this series. In the upper right hand corner from Root Game, we do have the blue Terran player. It's iaguz. And in the southwest corner of the map, our red Zerg player from Team MiA. It's Lumpas. You know, in this next break, I might have to run to the shop and buy an energy drink because I am crashing the card. You know, last night, for some reason, you know, the last few nights I've actually had a little trouble sleeping, and it's because I've been really motivated. Every time I go to bed, I get really motivated to get up and do SC2 stuff and SC2 improve stuff. My passion has returned, which isn't great when I'm trying to go to bed. I'm already going to bed late at like 2 AM when I've got to be up at like 8ish to go into labs, and you know, so I'm going to bed too, and then I'm like, oh, let's stay awake and think all night about SC2 improve. So I get like 4 hours sleep 3 nights in a row. Now it's starting to catch up with me. But we will survive. The show must go on. Pool first here for Lumpas, and that's not going to really get too much for him, as iaguz has opened with a barracks to begin with. 15 gas here, so an interesting opening. We'll get him some early Marines and some Hellions afterwards, so it'll be interesting to see where exactly he decides to take this. Expansion's still going to come down fairly quick. He'll just give him those extra Marines early on. He could go for some kind of drop play with a medevac and try and get something done with that as well. As very soon here, he will see that his opponent is not in the top left position and will be able to start moving down towards that bottom left, where he will find out that it is cross spawns here for this game, this TVZ. Cross spawns probably fairly favouring the Zerg player, I would say. Much better for the Zerg player than kind of horizontal or vertical spawns by any stretch of the imagination, so no real surprise. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's just kind of one of those things, but this is going to be quite nice for Lumpas, so you could make a pretty good game out of this, but we shall see. It's probably one of my favourite bits of music, the one that's on now. If you guys can actually hear it on the stream. It's one of my favourite bits. Favourite ones, I guess. Favourite pieces in StarCraft. Not that I usually pay too much attention to the music. I just like that little kind of do 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 do. Feels epic. Gets me tense, man. Gets me hyped. Makes me want to know what's gonna happen. And all we do is watching an SCV move around, which isn't quite as exciting as the music tries to make it. A couple of things coming in here as they're going to run up this ramp and find a couple of Marines, and so they're probably going to have to turn around, and a couple of Marines will be able to move forwards and take down one of those Zerglings. The other one going to be able to start moving away, and that's not going to get picked off just yet. Factory going to come over and swap onto this reactor. A second barracks on the way up as well from iaguz. And this has been a very interesting opening so far. So he's going to start going into his Hellions. Said he only got 2 Marines, so he only got 2 Marines in the end. Yeah. And a starport now coming up, so this is still kind of interesting. Intrigued to see where exactly this does go. As right now this SCV is still just moving around the map, not really too much for him to see. I mean, he's maybe, I guess, looking for an overlord out on the map or so. So he knows where he could maybe try and send a couple of Marines to get a little bit of damage done. Second speed on the way here for Lumpas, who's starting to take a second gas now as well, and just continuing to tech up in this game essentially. With this next wave of gas, he's going to be looking at a lair, some evolution chambers and some upgrades, and a hatchery. A third hatchery is probably going to be coming down fairly soon as well. Of course, that doesn't cost gas, neither does the evolution chambers, but the upgrades you get from them do. So yeah, that's probably the next few steps here for Lumpas, unless he really wants to go into just a lair, and just into kind of maybe very fast mutalisks, which is a possibility. Right now just droning up quite heavily, going up to what's going to be about 43 drones after 44, so after this next wave, as I guess with his first Hellions coming across the map, going to start putting on a little bit of light pressure and a little bit of a very soft contain, and just going to try and keep creep from spreading too quickly here, and try and deny that third base for a little while if at all possible. No Reapers though early on, which means that this little poking Hellion force is not as quite as powerful as it so often can be. So that's going to be something to note, as we do see some Zerglings starting to cross the map here from Lumpas coming up towards that upper right hand corner, and he's going to be heading in towards the natural to see what he can maybe get up to. So here we go, these Zerglings gonna come and there's not a complete wall up just yet. Very large ram, takes a long time to wall off. And two Marines for a handful of Zerglings there. Probably not so worthwhile as Hellion getting sent to its death to kind of go for a bit of a scout, try and see if you can see anything. Been in a nest on the way up for lumpas, who is still stuck on 2 bases here, adding on spore crawlers now as well. His lair about to finish up, so I imagine there's going to be a spire coming down in a few moments. Otherwise I'm really quite lost as to what exactly he's trying to go for. There we go, spire on the way down. It's just going to go into these mutalisks fairly quickly. And look to see what he can do with these. Some AFK Hellions, not AFK as much as they maybe thought they were, getting reacting to those quite quickly and pulling them back away from danger. Queen's starting to venture out on the map a little bit. Needs to be careful, doesn't want to get picked off by these Hellions, which we were talking about just a few moments ago, and a couple more Hellions coming across the map alongside a Viking here. So again, just looking to iaguz just looking to clean up some overlords, and again trying to delay creep a little bit with these Hellions, but creep is actually creeping forwards, and these Hellions maybe not as close to the creep as they would like to be, as a run by is being set up by Lumpas once again, going around the right hand side of the map. Going to look to see what he can maybe get up to over here. No third CC in terms of, no third CC finish. He's just starting one now, so it's been a fairly late third command center. We've actually got an armory down as well, so I imagine some kind of hellbat timing is about to be coming in here very soon. Some Zerglings starting to hit at this natural wall. Hellion's been sent back to deal with this, as Banelin's been morphed in. And iaguz with this, if these Marines dropping out of these medevacs, gonna be looking to see what he can maybe get done with these. But oh, these Zerglings get into the main base. Nothing on the reactor there means that you can't stop these Zerglings from getting in. So it's a little bit of a shame as the scan comes down. Stim is finished, so he's gonna be able to clean up some of this creep, which is nice. Wants to make sure he gets out of here with as many of these units as he can, though. Maybe even head towards that third base and get a little bit of damage in over there. These Hellions should be joining in fairly shortly. I mean, if these were all on the other side of the map right now and Hellbats, then this could have been a very good fight, because there is nowhere near enough units to deal with them. However, the problem is, he was forced to turn around, and because of that, Lumpas bought himself time to get the mutalisks out. And now there's mutalisks out, he's going to have no problem at all cleaning this up, and especially the Hellions slash what were going to be Hellbats. He's not going to really struggle with those at all anymore, as he was previously. And dropping off in a line here, trading fairly, well, really efficiently actually with these banelines, as the medevacs do go down. But again, I mean, minus the medevacs, the Marines traded very well. Took down a lot of banelines for very few Marines, essentially. As these Hellions just going to move back for a little while now, headed along the top side of the map, looking to see what they can get up to, looking to see what might be happening out and about. But again, not too much for now, as we see someone with Zerg about to hit this front door. These Zerglings, these mutants, try and break through, and in fact these units are completely out of position here. Hellions having to come back home once again, and iaguz doesn't really have anything right now. He lets these units into his main base, and he's actually forced to lift up into the medevacs. One medevac goes down, not the medevac full of units though, and iaguz is in a lot of trouble right now. I mean, with 12 minutes in the game and his production's already being camped. A couple of banelings go off on absolutely nothing in the natural though, so that's a little bit of a shame, as this turret is starting to pick up some kills, doing a lot of damage to these mutalisks, and the mutalisk numbers are starting to wear thin. Another medevac goes down, but so many SCVs available for the picking here. 5 workers killed so far. I'm surprised he hasn't got more damage done, really. Probably hasn't been targeting as good as he could have, I suppose. I guess we don't really know that, but I mean, he definitely hasn't done as much damage as I would have expected him to, and he's continuing to lose mutalisks here. And overall, I'm not sure if this was really worth it. 8 mutalisks lost to kill only 5 SCVs. I mean, army isn't really so important for Lumpas. He doesn't care so much about army, but killing off the mutalisks, he doesn't care about losing his Marines. Killing mutalisks is brilliant for him, and he's continued to kill them here. Another mine hit goes off, picks off another one, which is just flying in. He's losing some reactors, and that's a little bit annoying. But apart from being annoying, I mean, he's still really low at this mutalisk count here. So I think iaguz is in an okay position. He's got 1 upgrades as well against 0-0 for now. So things are looking okay for him. He's still in an SCV lead. And Lumpas is slowly going to make his way out of this natural after taking down a couple more depots. So I mean, he has been annoying. He has done damage. He's traded fairly evenly. But I just can't help but think that trading away all your mutas for Marines and very few gas units of the Terran is worthwhile. I guess he got some reactors. He got some medevacs as well. There's Mutaling gonna come up this ramp once more and look to see what they can maybe get up to. Another medevac again, very close to going down, and Again, just streaming forward with just these this Mutalisk and Zergling force. Mutas turn around and try and fight some Marines, and again, a lot of Mutas are going to be going down here. A lot of Mutas going to be going down here. Wow, a lot of Mutas, I've say for the third time in a row. SCV's been pulled into the main base, and iaguz still kind of on the run, still under a lot of pressure. There's turret going to go down as well, and Lumpas is starting to open up a big supply lead. He's 40 supply up at this point. iaguz has found the opportunity to make start 2-2 though, and that mine hit will soften up those Mutalisks enough to force them away for now. I mean, the problem is for Lumpas. As time goes on, iaguz is actually going to get into a really good position, because he still has 45 SCVs, which is okay. He still has triple orbital, and he still has a very efficient army, so things aren't dreadful for him just yet, as again, that 2-2 is going to make a big difference, as again, if there's some Banelings with this, maybe he could get something done, but the fact is there isn't, and without Banelings, pure Mutaline will just melt to those Marines if it's not in high enough number, and right now, I guess it goes without saying, it's not quite enough. Now some more reinforcements are coming across here. Fourth base? No, sorry, just a macro hatch coming up for Lumpas. I really would have liked it if behind all of this he'd droned up to 80 and then continued making units, or if he'd say made a fourth base and, you know, just done something else other than just making units, because he's had plenty of opportunities to make a you know, to make a couple of you know, to make a hatchery, or to, you know, to tech up back at home, or to drone up heavily. He's sort of an infestation pit right now, and I'm not sure how that's going to really go for him. I mean, he doesn't even have 1-1 yet on his units, and 2-2 about to finish up for iaguz. There's a big mine hit, cleans out a lot of Zerglings there, so nice big connection, and that will, again, force the Zerg away, so iaguz will hang on for a little while longer. I say hang on, but I don't really think it's... I think it's a lot closer than it really looks, simply because these upgrades are so important. I mean, 2-2 against 1-1 is going to be huge, and especially if iaguz finds the money to start 3-3. It's going to be very interesting, as we see Mutas and Zerglings, and again, mostly just Mutaling moving forwards here. Does he not have gas or something on his third base for a long time? Or, I guess not. He's only mined kind of 500 gas over here, which isn't that much considering we're 18 minutes into the game. So I think he was only on 4 gases for a lot of this game, and that's kind of hurt him a little bit. He's really not been able to remake to make any many Banelings at all. Now, of course, the factor of that is he's had to remake a lot of these Mutalisks, which he's been losing. 20 Mutalisks lost. And he's actually only used 2 Banelings so far. I guess he actually lost a few more, but they weren't killed, they were used exploding. But you know what I mean, like he just doesn't seem to have had enough gas, and he's been throwing away gas heavy units. He's going into a hive now, but I just cannot possibly understand why. He doesn't even have 2-2 yet, but he's starting to go into the hive. You know, he's teching past the tech he needs. So again, a little bit weird, as we have another hatchery on the way up. At this left-hand side position, we do have the gold base up for him already and starting to mine. If we check that income tab, it's a little bit in favour of Lumpas, but only ever so slightly. In fact, it's fairly even overall. As these Mutas again just trying to find a way in, and another mine goes off. These mines have been heroes so far. So many kills picked up on them just by sitting in the middle of the map, not really doing anything. Yeah, I mean, all over the place, there's mines. With, well, there must be some mines with some kills somewhere. I saw mines kill off a bunch of Zerglings before. This drop gets dealt with quite quickly. Keeps the units back on the other side of the map though, gives iaguz a bit of freedom to move through to the middle. And he is actually starting to move over to the left hand side. I suppose he saw that 4th base over there. He does not know about that gold base just yet, so that's something he's a little bit unsure of right now, and may not focus towards that for a little while here. There's similar army supplies a little bit ahead for iaguz, as our Zerg are going to start running in. The first mines don't really get anything done to the south side here. This is a lot of Zerglings. As some more units start to come in here, and iaguz losing a lot. He's definitely losing a lot more than Lumpas has, and it feels as though he maybe just has a lot of units which just aren't really here. And oh, these mines are doing so much. They're getting cleaned up, but every single time a mine hit goes off, it seems to be picking off a ton of Zerg. And that's what he really needs to do. You know, pick off a lot of Zerg as often as he can. If he keeps doing that, that's how you can possibly win this game still. I mean, he is, again, he's about to be 3-3 against 1-1. And having, you know, completed upgrades on your bio against a 1-1 Zerg player is going to be devastating for the Zerg. I mean, his units, they've been melting up until now already. Now they're going to melt even more so. We've seen some Corruptors added in as well. 34 Mutalisks lost throughout the game though, and again, I just feel as though he still doesn't have as many Banelings as he could really use. He still doesn't even have 2-2, so and I don't want to hate on Lumpas, but he really has been making some fairly questionable decisions throughout this game. Marines moving forward here, they're going to pick off these overlords now. And that's just a little bit of a mistake by Lumpas as well. Not too important. As oh my god, have we got a Great Aspire up? I saw the hive coming in, but I didn't actually realize it was going to be for a Great Aspire. So actually, sorry, I've completely missed that in the production tab. So apologies, guys. That is pretty crazy. So we're going to have Broodlords coming in, and I mean, I still disagree. I still don't feel Broodlords are good enough to justify going for over 2-2, over more mutas, or over enough Banelings to actually take a decent fight. As a single mine getting cleaned up there, Unit's going to come into the high ground, try and deny this mine on the goal, but as these Broodlords come in, Iaguz going to realise that he probably has to do something about those. Mines Will and Burrow don't want to use them against just Broodlings. A little bit of a waste of the mine shot, as we do have a drop to the left hand side, and this is the problem with the Broodlords. Very immobile. Of course, there is still a lot of Zerglings and Banelings on the map to be able to deal with drops and mutas, of course, as well, to clean them up completely. You know, I even said Corruptors are being added on. I still didn't even think that they were going to be for Broodlords, because it's just something we never see in this matchup. Like, really, we never see it. So it's really weird to kind of think this is going. I mean, we kind of see it sometimes when Dark plays, and you know, he plays that kind of unique Corruptor style, but he doesn't go mutas and then Corruptors into Broodlords. As iaguz has got the perfect run around here. He's got his opponent completely out of position. As the units stream back in, he is going to be able to pick off this gold base almost definitely. At the same time, a huge force up to the top side of the map, and this is going to be another base down, and all of a sudden Lumpas has lost 2 bases in just a matter of seconds. A lot of drones going down as well, and iaguz trading well here to get rid of a lot of the economy of his opponent. A lot of the income now gone, and oh no, so many mutas are going down as well again. Just not taking good enough care of the mutalisks here, as we're going to see the last few Marines try and split, but one big Baneling hit pretty much cleans them up. iaguz down in supply quite heftily right now, but if he can find himself a few moments to regroup, maybe on this planetary fortress, which he's morphing in at the gold, if he can find a few moments to regroup and get ready to go, he might just be able to hang on, and if he can hang on, he might be, he might get good to go. You know, I'm saying all of this, I actually haven't realised that the majority of the army supply for Lumpas is in these Broodlords. 17 mutas, 7 Broodlords, and 7 Banelings morphing in, and 10 Zerglings. So this is really actually not a very good army to fight with for Lumpas right now, as a Broodlords attack on something down the back there. Not sure what exactly that was, as single mutalist goes off and a couple of Vikings added in and start working away at these Broodlords. And oh, mine actually managing to pick off a Broodlord there, which isn't meant to happen. I'm pretty sure about that much at least, as these Marines going to start splitting, going to start trading here. Nowhere near enough Marines, and so it's just Broodlords and Mutalisks. And there's not enough Broodlords, you know, there's not enough Broodlords to make enough Broodlings, and these Marines are going to keep stepping forwards. Every single Mutalist is starting to fall, and following that, it will be the Broodlords going down. Not just yet, though. It's starting to be overrun a little bit. iaguz, that is. He's got a lot of money in the bank now. Now making 4 Vikings at a time is going to be enough to clean up the Broodlords. And when the Broodlords are gone, what is left for Lumpas? Absolutely nothing, as far as I'm aware. And these Vikings just moving forwards here. There's not enough mutas to really contest these Vikings, and that's the problem here. The mutas are kind of meant to be the anti-air, because he used all his Corruptors to just morph them into Broodlords. So the mutas are meant to be the anti-air right now, but they're going down, and once they're gone, it's just the Broodlords left in the sky, and the Vikings will take care of them very easily. And as this planetary fortress under a little bit of fire, I'm sure it can hang on long enough to survive here. And iaguz, well, he's going to take down these Broodlords, and I don't think there's a way back from Lumpas, and there it is, GG called. iaguz takes game number 2, and